Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, some might say it's cold. Others, like myself and my partner, we say this is football weather as we welcome you to chilly M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick in the 2018 draft, the Oklahoma Sooner, Baker Mayfield.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. Play fake. Mayfield. And right away he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
To put it mildly, that is not the way anyone wants to start off a game. You fumble on your first offensive snap. But now what you're worried about is, does that linger throughout the game for your guys on offense? And how's the defense going to handle it? Because no one expects to run out on the field on the first play and have to all of a sudden start to play themselves.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. This will be caught inside the 10. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Mark Andrews, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Ravens have taken the early lead.
Well, that's how you take advantage of an early turnover. A sudden change situation, meaning ball's turned over. How's both sides going to handle it? One side handled it way better. They went right out on the field and put the ball in the end zone.
One play, that just added insult to injury.
Yeah, that just tells you on the defensive side, they didn't come out ready to go, still reeling from the fact that the ball got turned over.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And the Ravens lead at 7-0. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. As we count down through the final few weeks of the season, these guys have nothing to sweat about. They've clinched the top spots, so the road to the Super Bowl, it runs through them.
And there's a natural inclination here, partner, to say, okay, a lot of guys aren't going to play down the stretch. We've clinched. We're ready to go. But there's another part where you say, let's show the league why we're the #1 team. Maybe you intimidate someone. Maybe you dissuade them from thinking that they can beat you in the playoffs by going out and being really impressive down the stretch.
Absolutely, and you want to take momentum into the playoffs. There's also pride on the line for these guys individually.
Yeah, momentum and pride. Yeah, I'd make room for them and put them both in uniform. Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Steps away to his left. He's going to look for Beckham in the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback on an expected passing situation.
A big seam, and he might go all the way. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, 78 yards. And the Ravens will add on to their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now the Browns coming out on the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Eluding the pressure right. Here's Higgins out on the right side. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Mayfield now on 2nd down. He's got Higgins over the middle. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
It's a nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it, but he picks up additional yardage after it.
Mayfield now from the 50. Flush to his right. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. The numbers for Beckham in last week's effort. 3 catches, 86 yards, and a touchdown.
And in doing preparation for the game, you notice where guys rank in the league in terms of statistical categories. He's 4th in the league in receiving yards. That caught my attention in a positive way.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
The penalty moves them into the red zone here on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. So here's the starting 11, and the human highlight reel, Odell Beckham Jr., watch out for him.
One of the few guys in the league that gets you and I out of our hotel rooms early to get here for pregame warm-ups and watch him go through his routine. He's absolutely amazing catching the football.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Hey, Delta. 51 to Mike, boy, 51. You gonna see me in your nightmares, son. You gonna see me in your nightmares. Pistol. Mike 51, Mike 51. Hey, Alpha.
Going to the air again with Mayfield. He's got a man wide open. It's Landry. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Jarvis Landry, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Browns are back within a score. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Extra point safely through, and that'll make our score 14-7. 5 plays there on that drive, and it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. The 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Jordan Leslie, 97 yards. And the Ravens will extend their lead. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him, kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. We'll look now at our starting defense. They sit at number 20 in the NFL right now against the run.
Stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Chris Wormley just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. It's a 6-yard pickup to get them back to the original line of scrimmage with third down coming up. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage.
The ball comes out.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So, should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you've got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. A look there at Ingram's numbers from a week ago. 18 carries and even 60 yards and a touchdown.
And when he went over 1,000 yards last week, you know what it did for their offense? It gave them a true identity because everyone's going to talk about this. The offensive line is going to take pride in it. Of course, the guy carrying the football will. But how about the coaching staff? When they go in and talk contracts, when they talk to reporters, hey, we had a 1,000-yard rusher this year. That means something in today's NFL.
Stop your whining. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Yeah, they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
I get the thought process. 3rd and short, give it to the fullback, let him bulldoze his way. But that means you're counting on your offensive line to win the line of scrimmage, aren't you?
Yeah, there was just a mass of bodies there at the line. Looked like more defenders than offensive guys. Winds up losing yardage. And this is off the left upright. And it comes back. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I said just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not? 4 verts. One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. This one complete into the hands of Higgins. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson, and he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. And this will be incomplete. physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Jackson now. They go screen. This is Ingram. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up fourth. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spot.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. And he's got his man on the out route. A gain of 6 there on first.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Give them 14 on that one and a first down. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
On second down, it's Pollard. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Back of the end zone, could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And the Ravens taking the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Now this one complete on the slant route. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming. Now the ball comes loose, and this is picked up by the Browns. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Well, he did what he's known for. He made the catch, then he turned into a runner, took the contact, and coughed it up.
And all I remember as a player, when they catch the ball, when those acrobatic guys catch it, you have to make them pay sometimes. You have to put it on them, big tackle, knock the ball free, anything you can do to slow them down.
That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
He was looking to get it to Jarvis Landry that time. That'll bring up second down. And there we saw rolling right out of the pocket, maybe taking him toward that sideline led him a little too far.
Yeah, that is difficult, isn't it? Plus, you're closing down your space, right? You're shortening the field for your receivers, and their inclination is to go towards the sidelines as fast as the quarterback is as well. Hard for them to throttle down to leave themselves with enough room to stay in bounds and catch the ball.
He's got his tight end, David Njoku.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Browns have cut it back within a score.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. And he will find his man on the outside. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup. Now Jackson. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Jackson. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on second and less than a yard. Jackson will throw again. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And way down into the red zone before he's dropped inside of Cleveland's 15. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here.
And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. So following the sack, they'll try to change their fortune here on 2nd and 13. They'll fake the give to Ingram. Now Jackson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Hollywood, Marquise Brown in the final seconds of the first half. And the Ravens will add on to their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Alert, alert! Alert, alert! Watch out!
Final play of the half, Mayfield. He sets to fire deep. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, where it was the Dolphins who were able to pick up the victory at home. Kenny Stills, a strong performance there. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they were winners in that ball game over the visiting New Orleans Saints. Cam Newton, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And they were losers in that one as they fall to the visiting Tennessee Titans. Marcus Mariota leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. In the game you're watching, we've seen a strong first half out of Lamar Jackson. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front as we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This is taken at the 3. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is, don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Call it about a gain of 3, and they'll be looking at a 3rd and 7 coming up. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And he'll be tackled after a gain of 4, still 3 yards short, 4th down. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Here's Sam Cook now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Mackenzie Alexander in on the tackle.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
He may try and run for this. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quitting him.
0.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham. His second touchdown of the night. And the Browns are back within a score. And man, Charles, talk about zinging something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catches, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. So up comes Mayfield as his guys will go for 2.
Tight end right. Hey. You got 3. Three down. Check 99.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Dancing to his left. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. A solid first half for him, and so far a good start to the second half.
And I'm going to try not to go overboard with praise here, but I can't help it. He is playing so well, really accurate with the ball, finding guys open downfield, and finding the end zone 3 times. That'll help offset the 1 interception.
Absolutely, just that 1 pick with the 3 touchdowns so far. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just 1 big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
A first down throw from Mayfield, and that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Second and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Real. 51 to Mike, boy, 51. All right, T, let's go. All right, T.
Mayfield down. And an alley to run. And avoids the contact by sliding. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a first and 10 at the 48-yard line. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. We'll check on his status when we get back. The first down run got 5. Here's second and 5.
Crunch time, defense. Hey, alert 33.
To throw, Mayfield. This is the tight end, Njoku. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 16 yards, a first down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Strip that ball. Regular.
From the 22, Mayfield being chased out left. 15 yards on the play, first down.
We got this.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
The Browns are in. Touchdown.
Nice touchdown, baby. Keep working.
The quarterback run has eaten him up all game long, and there he goes again, this time into the end zone.
And what I like about what I'm seeing, absolutely running almost with impunity. He's not worried about his body. He's not worried about sliding. He's not worried about protecting himself. He's worried about getting yardage. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, you've got to start figuring out what these blocking schemes are and finding ways to defeat them.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now it's Jackson. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
To throw is Jackson. Buying time to his left. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give him 17 on that pickup.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the 4th quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Here's Jackson to throw. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Now they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
His pass caught at the 4. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, a beast in the red zone with his second touchdown of the game. And the Ravens have retaken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His second touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. Throwing again on second down. Mayfield escaping the pressure right. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
Holding offense.
So a holding penalty, and that'll send him backwards.
You know, they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
Mayfield now on second down. Throw left side, caught by the tight end, Njoku. A gain there of 21 yards.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Mayfield looks to throw. Forced out to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
Now a carry for Pirine. And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee? So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Going to throw right side here, complete. Less than 2 to play with just a field goal separating these two sides. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. He's back to throw, and he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed him. Instead, second down. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. And that means the guys going out for passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
The Browns on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. They'll come out in the pistol. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. On the carry, it's Olsen. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up. Run, run, run.
Staying on the ground with Olsen. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that is going to set up 3rd and goal.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Back to throw. The quick slant caught. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal. Back to throw. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about. Well, sometimes when you try to defend OBJ, you're going to get a PI call.
You might get a PI called at just about any point during his route. And I think a lot of teams have taken the whole philosophy of, hey, just go ahead and do what you have to do and hope eventually they'll quit calling it. But not in this case. They dropped the flag for the pass interference.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. With 2 seconds left in regulation, this to force overtime. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. With 2 seconds left in regulation, this to force overtime. And this one is right through. And this game is tied. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is taken at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
All day, defense, all day, all day.
The first throw in overtime for Mayfield now. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Steps away to his left. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Little OT scramble drill that time, Mr. Davis.
And, partner, I can tell you from personal experience, nothing drives a defense crazier than having things covered and the quarterback takes off and picks up a first down or big yardage. Because whether you're in zone or man, it's easy to lose track of him because you don't always have someone assigned to him. And once he goes, now everybody's scrambling to try and tackle him. Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, it still definitely hurts.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. 2 minutes left in this overtime session, and still all tied. They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now.
Alert! Alert!
Here's Mayfield. And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. And absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for Cleveland, they move ever closer to the perfect regular season as they run things to 14-0. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, their playoff hopes take a hit as they drop to 7-7. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL